With the NASCAR 2025 season just around the corner, I decided to give my predictions to the most qualified F1 fan who has never watched NASCAR. Like and subscribe if you like, and on with the video. I don't know F1 that well.
Well, maybe I can help.
Yeah. And I guess that would have been a very good, very good segue, but
Oh,
this is in the middle of a race and I'm bullying you. So I'll add a little bit more to some of the stuff that I've been thinking about in this 2025 season. A lot of weird things are happening where like there's this new charter thing where like everybody has to have 3 charters now other than the big 2 that have 4 for some reason.
yeah,
And
seems a bit
then
odd though.
there's the lawsuit going on where the is very funny because having Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace, and I can't remember his name, but there's going to be a 3rd charter for 2311 if NASCAR lets them, because NASCAR didn't want to sell them that charter because of the lawsuit. But
Yeah.
allegedly, the lawsuit is forcing them to sell that charter. Because they put in a preliminary injunction to say that we need that charter, and another thing of like they need to give us charter experience without us signing it, because one of the main things in the lawsuit is like they're trying to say that like in the charter agreement says you can't sue us for antitrust laws. And it's like the judge himself was just like saying you can't sue for antitrust is against antitrust, like allegedly.
All allegedly, of course. So it seems real messy. Is there a resolution? Like, is it like are we close to one? How long's the process been going on?
The process started in November.
Oh gosh, so fresh.
Because November is when they allegedly forced the teams to sign the new charter agreement, and I the 2311 that are suing NASCAR.
So how come the other? I guess it's in the obviously it's in the bigger teams' interest to go, because obviously they have got like Penske and Hendrick. This obviously would benefit them because they're in Marwash. So those smaller teams, yeah, have more. I guess it's not as they have more to lose, or is it's just not inherently set up
They
beneficially
actually
to their.
have a ton to lose, and that was one of the things in the preliminary injunction, is that they said that there was quote unquote allegedly
Of course.
irreparable harm that would have come to them if they didn't sign this charter that they did not agree with.
Mm.
And the judge, the original judge said, good luck. And then they transferred over to a different judge, and the judge was just like, yeah, no, this is like a million times of proof that there is, allegedly.
I love that the first judge is like, nah, I don't want any part of this.
I think that's basically what it was. Is just like, I don't remember the exact details, and me saying allegedly 1,000 times because I think I might get
All
some of the
allegedly
details
until ruled.
wrong.
So do we think then how long do you think it's going to, like, is there a time, is there even a timeline you can put on this, or is it just going to be this is just going to be ongoing until it's sorted?
I think we'll probably be seeing this throughout all of the 2025 season. There's going to be a lot of small things that jump out, of small things that like exist throughout this like time period. There's going to be a lot of. I probably shouldn't have picked the full tank of gas, but
For 2 laps, probably. That's a shame. It's a shame for that to be hanging over the season when, in theory, it should be a good season. And yet, this kind of this situation's just hanging over everyone. When the
There's
season starts in June, did you say?
It starts in February. It starts
Oh
just
wow,
over a month from us recording this,
it's
and will
kind of on
probably be
the
just about a month when I post this.
February. Like most motorsport, kind of kicks back up around March time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is earlier.
February 16th, I believe, is the Daytona 500.
Oh,
Because
cancel your Valentine's plans.
February 2nd is February 2nd is the Clash.
The Clash.
Yeah, which is the basically the before season race. I believe is what they would call it.
Oh, it's like it's a non-championship race, is it?
Yeah,
Kind of an exhibition.
I don't believe it counts towards the overall thing.
Is it similar to, say, like Indy's thermal race from last year, where it's kind of just more like prize
would
money?
Have to explain that to me.
Oh gosh, even I'm struggling to explain thermal. I think thermal was like a race that had no championship benefit, but I think there was some money involved. But people just went to race.
That's basically what it is. As soon as I'm done with this race, I can do some more yapping.
There you go. Well, you were in the hunt to win that one.
Then, yeah, I was until I was.
And then you weren't.
And then there's stuff like the Daytona 500, where it seems like everybody wants to be a part of it this year, and everybody wants to do Helio Castroneves is trying to be in the Daytona 500 this year.
One of your favorites.
Yes, sir.
Which oval looks most appealing? Which shape do you feel like geometry?
Castroneves there. I wanted to know your opinion on that, like seeing an Indy driver getting in there.
Yeah, I mean, I like it because I have a real respect for drivers that can kind of reinvent themselves or show willingness to try other disciplines that are not originally their own, even though because when you've got drivers who try something that's different from their, quote unquote bread and butter, there's obviously such a margin for them to look like knobs, essentially, because it's they're kind of they're fish out of water. And like Jimmy Johnson's IndyCar stint wasn't brilliant, but it wasn't awful either. It's kind of this I guess inter championship when people can partake in different championships that aren't native to their own. So it's one of the reasons that just cements Fernando Alonso to me as an absolute legend, to try something that was so different from Formula One and do oval racing when he did the Indy. It's so for Castroneves to go from a single seater to a NASCAR it's a very different. You're going from levels of aerodynamics that are basically none, which is a lot to adjust to. So full credit for going for it, because it could not be more different.
I think it's super cool when people I guess we'll bring it back to the sadness that is Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson trying to do the open wheel Indy and then immediately go to Charlotte. I think that's super cool.
Yeah, obviously on the NBC broadcast, obviously it was such a storyline that was obviously had so much focus around it. Even though I'm not a huge fan of Larson himself, it was admittedly very cool to see that being attempted. Obviously it didn't work out for different for weather reasons, but
he will be only the second driver behind Tony Stewart that has ever done it. But that's Tony. Tony got all laps of the Indy and then all laps of the race.
He made it in time for the race.
So who knows if Larson will have that same thing.
I think he'll try it again this year.
I think he said he was gonna try.
Because it was I think there was such a kind of bitter feeling with how not just not making the other race, but obviously with how Indy ended, basically with the pit lane speeding penalty that can't just removed any chance that he had in it.
And then having the the rain delay make him almost like not even count towards the race is very sad too.
Would he have, so if he'd missed that race, would he have literally not been able to make the playoffs?
Yeah,
Wow,
and
it's a huge degree of risk
a
involved.
lot of people, a lot of people think NASCAR kind of just gave him a wave. Um, but I think it was justifiable to have a wave on that. Also, not
Yeah.
only because they're like their poster boy is trying to do like the cool thing, but because you also you want to see those things for your sport. You want to see things attempted and be able to be done.
Yeah, like to, yeah, you want to promote that kind of thing, but like it would have been difficult for them to justify, that he wouldn't be in the, the playoffs. Like that just
Yeah.
would that's you want obviously your best drivers in there.
Yeah, especially with him having the most wins on the season. You you need him in the in the playoffs basically.
Yeah. Yeah, like ultimately, like it's as much as it sucks, like to incorporate this element, like ultimately, like the ratings do matter,
Mm-hmm.
and Larson would obviously, I imagine, be a decent part of that.
Then I wanted to get into some funny things with 2026 as well, with like Honda coming in, most likely coming into NASCAR the year after.
Like it's even just thinking about that. Like it's so weird to think of Honda in oval racing because I think Honda. You think right. You think Japanese. You think sophistication. You think they've obviously looked at they've obviously they're involved in Formula One from an engine supplier point of view. They've competed in Formula One in the past. They've. I just think it's just so funny to me that they've gone down this route rather than say dabble into any other like they haven't got into electric racing. They haven't looked at the endurance side of things. Like I just love that. It's like obviously I know they're involved with IndyCar, and like obviously they have the rivalry with Chevy there as engine suppliers. But I think it's just funny that they just go right, we're running straight to NASCAR.
Yeah, I think it'll all be good. It'll all be cool and pretty and beautiful and amazing. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. You can subscribe. Why are you still here? Bye bye.